I have one more person joining, but we can get started. Let's start on our backs tonight. Come to a flat back. You can cue up your music, and I will put everyone on mute. Mute all. Perfect. Elizabeth, when you get onto your mat, just like angle your camera so that I can see you on your mat. Awesome. We'll come to our backs, and we're gonna bring our hands to our tummies this morning or this evening to start our class. So I like to kind of bring my pointer fingers together and then my thumbs together and kind of create like a diamond and place it on my tummy. And I want you to take some deep breaths, feeling the tummy rise and fall. We're going to tap into the breath. Tonight, Wednesday nights, they are our feel-good nights. Like giving ourselves self-massage. That's what I like to use this class, this time for. We're going to practice mindfulness with our breath here before we get into the movement. This is something that I talked about with a group of women that I meet with once in a while for like workshops and just things that we can do to improve our day-to-day lives. We talked about mindfulness and coming into the present moment. It's something that I've noticed even I'm not very good at. When I'm eating, I'm scrolling through my phone. When I'm walking, I'm talking on the phone or listening to music. When I'm cooking, you're almost always double tasking. So right now, right here, we're doing yoga, and I invite you to kind of take note of your senses, your 5 senses. Feel or touch the points of the body in contact with the mat. Smell. Sight, obviously our eyes are closed, but notice what you see with your eyes closed. Just darkness, maybe flashes of light. What do you taste and what do you hear? One that really helps me pull into the moment is temperature. I love that one. So I want you to rest in this moment with your breath, really feeling into all 5 of those things. Feeling, smell, sight, hearing, and taste. Our hands on our tummy add to that tactile feedback of what we're feeling in our body. We should also feel that breath rising and falling, our tummy expanding and then deflating. Using this time, we're really coming into our practice and seeing how heavy we can get on our mat. How rested can we get before we add in that movement? The first movement we're going to take is very subtle. We're going to just clasp those fingers together. The elbows might come up off of the mat, but just bring those fingers together, interlace them. And then we're going to press the palms away from the chest. Reach the arms up over the face and reach the hands up overhead, stretching long. Maybe reach the toes opposite away from the hands. Getting long in the left and right sides of the body. And then we're going to bring those palms back up over the face, reaching towards the ceiling, and let the hands fall all the way down to the mat, flat by our sides. We're going to bend the left knee in towards the left hip, and then the left sole of the foot comes flat to the mat. The left knee bends up, and then the right sole of the foot comes flat to the mat. The right knee bends up. So we're kind of in that bridge prep position. We're going to activate the glutes here so that we can really stretch into our hamstrings tonight. So right away, ground down under those feet, spread the toes wide, press under the heels and the balls of the feet, and press those hips up to the ceiling. Tuck the abdomen together, so the ribs knitting together towards each other. And we're in our bridge. We're feeling an activation in the glute. Inhale, get long through the spine. Try to elongate the neck so that it's not crunching in towards the chest. And then on your exhale, press a little deeper into the feet to bring the hips a little higher. From here, we're going to come onto the tiptoes. And then we're going to ripple down vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing those hips down, tailbone last, to come down to the mat. We're going to tuck those knees into the chest, take our hands to the knees, left hand to left knee, right hand to right knee, and circle those knees out. Really working into our body tonight. We're going to take that a couple more times here. So we're going to take the soles of the feet flat down to the mat. Again, knees bent up. We're going to engage the abdomen, ribs knit together. Press into the feet and press those hips up. Inhale long through the crown of the head. Exhale, press into the feet. The hips come a little bit higher. Taking a couple breaths here, really feel the engagement through the glutes. The hamstrings pressing into the feet. Then come onto the tiptoes, ripple down vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming all the way down. Hips come down, knees come into the chest. Left hand to left knee, right hand to right knee. And we're circling out those feet. Oh, we have two people. Okay, awesome. Hi guys, so sorry. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we're gonna bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. There's the playlist link if you wanna cue it up. We're gonna come back to that bridge. We're gonna take that one more time, pressing into the soles of the feet, lift those hips. I really want you to imagine something beneath your sacrum, the very, very base of your tailbone, pressing those hips up. Notice if the knees are splaying open. Pull them back together, right in line with the hips. Really press those hips. Try to find the length in the neck. And bring it back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. After lifting the toes or the heels to tiptoes, ripple all the way down on your vertebrae. Coming all the way down to your back. There you go. Nice. Tuck those knees in. Circle those legs out. And remember, this theme is feel good, self-massage. So if something that I'm cueing doesn't feel good, take a little different variation so that it feels very good. This time we're going to drop the soles of the feet flat to the mat, and we're going to extend the right heel towards the sky. So press the right heel towards the ceiling. The right hip stays glued to the mat. That leg is long. We're feeling an active stretch in the back of the right leg. Then from here, we're going to reach those hands forward without lifting the chest. We're just gonna grab the leg wherever we can without lifting the chest off of the mat. So take the hands behind the thigh, maybe behind the calf, maybe all the way up to the foot, depending on how open the back of your right hamstring is. I want you to try to keep that leg straight no matter where you go with your hand. So we're really pressing that heel actively towards the ceiling. The toes are pulling towards that right hip. Good, and then we're gonna release our hands. Let that right leg come long on our mat. The left leg stays bent. Reach the hands up overhead. Take a full body stretch from the fingertips to the right heel. That left heel is flat on the mat, left knee bent up. We're stretching along. We're gonna take that a couple more times. We're gonna pull that right leg in and up, and our hands are gonna come around the back of the leg, whether it's on the thigh, the calf, or the foot. We want those shoulders, the chest, to stay on the mat. We don't want them to lift. That heel continues to press away. The toes continue to tuck towards the right hip. And then we're gonna release that leg, stretch it long. We're keeping the toes actively pulling up the leg, heels stretching long, fingertips up overhead. And then we'll pull that leg in one more time. See if you can find a little bit more depth here with that leg in towards the chest, keeping it straight. Shoulders down, head down. And then we're gonna release that leg, bring that right leg to the top of the left thigh, coming into a reclined figure four. From here, we can start with the right hand on the right leg, not on the knee, but on the thigh. Or we can take our hands behind that left leg, place them through the back of the leg or the front of that left shin. We're gonna figure four here, so we're pulling that left knee in towards the chest. That right elbow can help press that right thigh out. We're pulling that right knee towards the front right corner of the mat. Imagine a string helping pull here. Should feel a nice stretch in the right hip. If the shoulders and head peeled up off of the mat, try to bring them back down. Notice if the hips are even on the mat or if one is pulling up more. Try to bring them back even. And we're gonna release that left foot down. Let the hands go if they're behind that left leg. Stretch that right leg up. The right heel reaches towards the sky again. Left sole of the foot is down. We're gonna take those hands behind the back of the right leg, either the thigh, calf, or foot one more time. See if we can find a little bit more space here now that we're opening up that right leg. Maybe not, maybe we're the same. Maybe it's not changing. That's totally fine. But just notice. Good, we're gonna release this time, extending the right leg long, extending the left leg long, and reaching both feet forward and both hands up overhead, taking a full body stretch. We're gonna tuck those knees into the chest, hands on the shins. Take it back to a little ball here, rolling out those knees, maybe in circles. We're gonna take that same sequence on the other side for the left leg. So bring the right sole of the foot down to the mat, reach the left heel up towards the sky. Now again, we're really staying active here in the back of that left leg. So the left heel is reaching towards the sky. Left toes are pulling down towards the left hip. It's almost like you're finding a stretch without any help. Then we're gonna take those hands forward and just pull on whatever area of the leg we can reach without lifting the shoulders or the neck off of the mat, coming behind the thigh, calf, or foot. Notice if the hips peel up, try to bring them evenly to the mat. And then we're gonna release, bring that left heel reaching towards the front of the mat, left toes pulling up the left leg, right heel down on the mat flat, right knee bent up. Fingers reach up overhead for a full body stretch through that left side. Then we're gonna pull that leg in, take that a couple more times. See if you can reach your hands a little further up the leg with the shoulders on the mat. And release, extend that left leg long. Stretch overhead, left leg long. And pull that left leg in one more time. Hands behind the calf or thigh or ankle. Only going to your edge. You don't want pain. Discomfort is natural when we're stretching. That's the sensation that we're feeling. But if there's pain or twinges of tingling, back out. That means we've gone a little too far. And we're going to release, extend long. And this time as we come up, we're going to cross that left leg over the right. So the left ankle comes to the top of that right leg. From here, figure 4, we're going to take those hands behind the right knee or in front of the right shin. If that's too much, we can just stay down with our left hand on the left leg, not on our knee, on our thigh area. If the shoulders peel up in doing so and pulling that leg in, try to peel the neck and shoulders back down. And again, imagine that string on the left shin pulling towards the left front corner of the mat. Feeling a stretch in that left hip. If you're feeling funkiness in your knee, make sure that the left ankle is flexed at 90. That's going to protect that knee joint there. Release the right foot. Extend the left towards the ceiling. Again, left toes pulling towards the left hip. Left heel reaching to the sky. Left hands come behind the left leg one more time. Pulling a little deeper into the stretch. And then extend long both feet. Stretch overhead and tuck those knees into the chest. We're going to take one more variation of that flow before we come off of our back. It's going to be a little bit more activation into the hamstrings so that we can stretch a little bit more. So we're going to take that left leg, left foot back down to the mat, left knee is bent up. That right leg is going to extend towards the ceiling again. We're going to pull that leg in towards the chest with our hands behind the right leg. The right toes are pulling towards the hip, right heel pulling towards the ceiling. Now from here, our hands are going to extend overhead. We're going to keep that right leg straight and long, right heel reaching forward as it comes forward into that full stretch. Don't let it come all the way down to the mat. Let it hover about an inch. Lift, pressing through that left heel. Lift the hips, even just an inch off of the mat. Make sure that that left knee is right in track with the left hip. We're hovering the right foot off of the mat, the right leg, and also we're lifting the hips up off of the mat, getting an activation into the left glute and the left hamstring. Then bring those hips down. Bring that right leg back in towards the face, right heel reaching towards the ceiling, right toes towards the hip. Hands come behind the leg and we pull that right hamstring we pull that right leg into the chest, the face. Then we extend, right leg, hands up overhead. We come into that half bridge. The left foot is pressing into the mat, lifting our hips, right leg is extended. If I came and poked that right leg, it's rock hard. You're reaching, you're pressing that heel forward as if you're kicking a wall. Then let the hips come down. Lift that right leg all the way back up. Take your hands behind and stretch. Nice. We're going to take that one more time. Extend the leg. Hover it. Hips lift a little or a lot. Find that activation in the left glute, the left hamstring. And then bring those hips down. Right leg comes up. And then we're going to cross it. We're going to stretch it and then cross it into the figure 4. So figure 4, again, come into your variation, maybe behind the leg, in front of the shin, or just resting and pressing that right leg open with your right hand. Notice that there's a little bit more openness here than you had a moment ago when we were just here. Maybe you don't, maybe you feel nothing different. but just notice if you do. We'll let the left heel come back down, extend the right leg long, reach the heel towards the sky, right toes pulling towards the hip. And we're gonna extend long, reach the left leg out to meet the right. Hands up overhead. And pull the knees into the chest. Hug it out, circle it out. Take whatever movement feels good and organic here. We're gonna take that same sequence on the other side. So the right sole of the foot comes down. Left heel reaches towards the ceiling. I'm gonna be a little bit more fluent in my cues because we know where we're going now. So left toe is pulling towards the hip the entire time. Right heel or left heel pulling towards the ceiling the entire time. Hands reach forward towards the leg. Pull on the back of the leg anywhere. Thigh, calf, foot. Make sure that that leg is straight. Then we're gonna release. Inhale, arms up overhead, left heel reaches forward, lift those hips, press into the right foot. They don't have to lift a whole lot, just feel that activation through the right glute, the right hamstring, and hover those hips back down to the mat. Left leg comes in towards the chest, left toes pulling towards the hip, hands come behind the leg. Now we're gonna extend. The left heel reaches forward, presses forward, the hips lift, right glute, right hamstring activated, hands overhead. That left leg is lifted. Come back down to our mat with our hips. That left leg comes in towards the face, hands come behind the left leg. And extend one more time. The left heel reaches forward, hips lift, right glute, hamstring activate by pressing into the right heel. And come down. Left leg in towards the face, hands behind the leg. And cross that left heel over, or that left ankle over the right top of the thigh. Pull the hands behind the thigh or on top of the shin, wherever is comfortable for you. And come into our reclined figure four. Feel that left hip opening. And then let that right foot come back to the mat. Extend the left leg long, right or the left heel reaching towards the ceiling, and then come all the way down. Stretch that left leg long, stretch the right leg out to meet it. Reach those hands overhead. And this time as we hug those knees into the chest, hands are gonna come behind the legs, and we're gonna rock it up. On our spine, we should feel nice and awake in our legs, our glutes, our hamstrings. And once we rock enough, we're gonna come all the way into a seat for just a moment. So we're gonna do some stretches in our sides before we come into a table. We're gonna stay pretty low tonight, either way. So maybe move that flesh out of the way. Kind of just move it right out of the way, ground down under the sits bones. Find that stacking of the vertebrae from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. We're gonna inhale, hands rise up overhead. Exhale, we're gonna twist over to the left side. That right hand comes to the left knee. We're twisting over to that left side. That gaze follows over the left shoulder. All the while, imagine a string pulling through the crown of the head so that you're staying really long in the spine. From here, inhale, up. Exhale over the other side, twisting to the right. Try not to torque too much here. I want you to feel like if your hands let go, you might ease off a little bit, but not a whole lot. Keep your abdomen activated to help you into the twist so you're not just relying on your hands bringing you into it on the floor and your knee. We're gonna inhale up, take it all the way up through center, shoulders drop away from the ears. Exhale over to the left side again. This time we're gonna reach that left hand up and over, get a stretch in that left side. So you're pulling those left fingertips away from the left hip, reaching over. Notice if that left hip wants to peel up off of the mat. I want you to try really hard to keep it down. Round it down if it's peeling up. We're gonna inhale, bring that left hand back behind the hip. We're gonna take a stretch in the other direction. So we're kind of bending into that left hand, that left elbow behind us, and we're stretching that right hand up and over away from that right knee. You might not feel it as much here, maybe you feel it more, depending on where you're tight in the body. We're gonna take it back and forth here, so that right hand comes down, stretch it up and over, left hand comes down, up and back. I want you to find some fluidity here. So we're inhaling up and over, exhaling into it, inhaling up and over, and exhaling into it. Take it with your own breath a couple times. Again, finding that fluidity. I think that's a word, so I'm using it. But if it's not, no judge. No judgments. Good, so we're gonna come back up through center the next time we come forward. We're gonna take it to the other side, twisting towards the right. We're gonna take that same sequence. So we're gonna start by lifting that right arm up and over, pulling away from that right hip, right fingertips up and over to that left corner of our box, our mat. Then we're gonna take that flow. So we inhale up and over, place that right hand down, stretch left arm up and over, and place that left hand down, reach up and over with the right. And up and over, inhaling and exhaling. Again, I encourage you to take this at your own pace. Maybe that's super slow, maybe it's a little bit more fast paced, depending on what you're feeling tonight. One more in each direction. Notice if you can keep those hips on the mat the entire time. They might want to move. We want the groundedness through those sits bones. So once you're forward, we'll bring those hands all the way up and take those hands in front of us. We'll rock it over into a table. So hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. From here, we're going to take some cat-cow. Tuck the toes, inhale, press the belly down, tailbone lifts, heart shines forward. Pull those shoulders together on the back body. This is a part of cow that I actually didn't realize for quite some time, but imagine pinching a pencil between the shoulder blades and then pull the heart forward, gaze lifts a little bit. I don't want you to crank that head up so much that you can't breathe. It's just a little lift through the gaze to shine that heart center forward. Then as we exhale, we press the tops of the feet down, chin tucks to the chest, the head rests, it hangs from the neck, and the tailbone is pulling down. Inhale, cow. Pinch those shoulders together, shine the heart center forward, and exhale, press that belly button away from the mat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Good, take it back to a neutral. We're gonna take the toes, we're gonna tuck them, and slowly lift those hips. Notice how I'm pressing my hips back towards my heels first, and then pressing my hips up and back so that I keep long length in my spine. I'm not coming up like this and rounding in my spine. I'm really keeping those hips back and pressing through the hands up into my down dog. We're gonna come to our down dog. I'll come, check it out. Elizabeth, bend those knees and press the shoulders back towards the knees. Back, so chest, imagine someone pressing between your, there you go. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. Katie, same thing. Imagine someone with their hand between the shoulders, pressing the shoulders back towards the thighs. There you go, nice. Long length through the spine. So take a moment here. I want you to come to your tiptoes. Bend the knees in order to do so that the chest doesn't move. Just bend your knees to lift your tiptoes, keep the chest pressing back, and then let the right heel fall, pressing into the back of that right leg. That left knee might bend a little bit more. Let gravity pull the right heel down. And then inhale, bring that right foot back to the tiptoes and let the left heel melt down. Right knee is bent. Good. From there, inhale. Take it on both sides again. Patting the right foot. And then bring it back to tiptoes and pat the left foot. And bring it back to tiptoes. And from here, we're gonna walk those feet all the way forward to meet our hands in a forward fold. So the knees are bent here in forward fold. I'll come to the profile view so you see how much my knees are bent here. It doesn't matter if my legs are completely straight in forward fold. What matters is that that tummy is resting on the thighs so that we're not straining our lower back with an arch here. Weight is in the toes. And our head, neck, shoulders are let go. I want you to heel toe those feet a little wider than your hips. So you're in a wider forward fold. And then let those hands come to opposite elbows and really just dangle. Maybe swaying left and right. Head, neck, shoulders let go. Imagine weights attached to the elbows. Bend those knees. Abdomen is resting on the thighs there. Yeah. Weight is in the toes. Hanging out here for a couple moments. With every exhale, see if you can make that head just a little heavier. Shoulders just a little heavier. And slowly let that sway. Come to stillness. Coming just to a still forward fold with those feet a little wider than hip distance. Let the hands drop. Hands can place onto the mat. Fingers spread wide. Let the left foot stay where it is. We're going to brace ourselves with those hands and step that right foot back. The hands are a little bit forward of our left foot. It might feel a little awkward, but we'll realign. So when you step that right foot back, the right heel is going to come on top of the right toes. The right hand is going to come beneath the right shoulder. And then that left hand is going to come to the left knee. Now, a couple things here. I want to make sure that that left ankle is stacked right beneath that left knee. And I'm twisting myself to the side with that right knee lifted. My shoulders are twisting over to the left, but my legs are staying in line. You kind of just came into a pseudo twist here. Now lower your right knee here. Good. So everyone is aligned there. Lower your right knee. We're going to open up this left hand to the sky. And instead of just resting here on the right hand, we're going to come all the way up, shoulders stack, but we're coming into a T-twist. So imagine taking your shoulders and twisting over to the left. We're staying there. The left hand is reaching back, right hand reaching forward. You're going to notice that left knee is going to want to open up. Try to keep it in line with that left hip. And twist over to that left side. Keep the abdomen engaged to keep ourselves twisting, and then place that right hand back down on the mat. Reach that left hand up and over head. Maybe getting a stretch in that left hip, maybe not feeling much, but reach biceps to ear. Then we're going to tuck the toes, take that left hand back down in front of the left foot, inch that right hand forward to meet that left hand, and step it forward to meet the left foot in our forward fold again. Now that might not have been graceful. That's okay. We're going to work through it a couple times and add on to it. So again, dangle here in that forward fold, bend those knees. The hands are going to place down onto the mat, bend the knees. The right foot stays where it is. Left foot lifts and steps back to our lunge. Those hands, the left hand comes beneath the left shoulder. The right hand comes to the top of the right knee, coming into a twist. And make sure that that stance is long enough so that that right knee is right on top of the right ankle. The left toes are right beneath the left heel. From here, lower that left knee. Inhale, right arm up. Untuck the back toes if they're not already. We're gonna inhale, bring those shoulders up, T-twist to the right side. Pull those right fingertips back towards the left foot. Left fingertips towards the front of the room. Continue to breathe. Notice the restriction in your breath because we're twisted. That tummy isn't as open. There's not as much space to enter with the breath. From here, windmill that left arm down, reach that right arm up and over, bicep to ear. And then place that right hand in front of the right foot. Inch that left hand back to meet the right in line. Tuck the back toes, and we're gonna press forward to step back to a forward fold. Dangle here. Knees are bent. Bend into the knees. Take those hands wide, reach all the way out and up. Inhale, overhead, hands in prayer. You can't see them, but they're over my head. They're in prayer. And exhale, bring them to heart center. We're gonna take one more of those. Inhale, all the way up. This time we're gonna T-twist over to the right side. Notice if your hips are coming to the right side with you. Keep your hips forward. We're T-twisting just through our spine. So shoulders are over to the right side. Take that right hand down to the back of the right leg. Inhale up and over. Keep the hips in line forward. Get a stretch in that left side body, that left hip. And then windmill those arms back down. Take it to forward fold. Bend the knees. Pad the feet. Inhale, half lift, shoulders pull forward. Engage the abdomen. Notice how I'm coming to like a 90-degree angle at my hips. And then I exhale, come all the way back down to forward fold. Bend into the knees, shoot those arms out and around. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, T-twist to the other side. Pull over to the left side. Those hips angle back towards the front. Right hand reaching forward, left hand reaching back. Take the left hand to the back of the left leg. Up and over with that right. Getting a stretch in the side body. And then exhale, windmill all the way down. Bend into those knees, forward fold. From here, place those palms like we did before, right in front of the toes, so our feet are a little wider than hip width. We're taking that left foot, planting it down on the mat, nice and solid. Lift that right foot, step it back. Right away, right hand beneath the right shoulder, aligned for this low lunge. Take the left hand to the left knee, right toes are right beneath the right heel. Make sure that that left knee is right in line with the left hip. We're gonna lower that right knee. We're gonna inhale, left arm up. Come up to our T-twist, shoulders lift. And then I want you to maybe find the leg behind you. Left hand to the right leg. And then inhale that right arm up and over, getting a stretch in those hips. It might not be a whole back bend here, but even if you find your hand, that left hand on the sacrum, in between the hips, the low back. I want you to find a little baby back bend here, twisting over to that left side. And then bring that right hand down, left hand down. This time we're gonna frame that foot, tuck the back toes, and we're gonna pinwheel all the way around to the side of that mat. So over to the right side, coming into a wide leg forward fold. So the toes are angled in, heels a little bit wider than the toes, bending into one knee and then the other. The hands can be on the mat. Find a little movement here. A little movement that feels good. Let the head go if it's up, if it's curious, gazing around. Try to close the eyes, just come into the moment. Notice the temperature, notice what you're feeling, what parts of the body are in contact with the mat, what you're tasting, smelling, hearing. From here, we're gonna walk those hands towards the left foot, but we're not gonna move the feet. We're taking a little twist over to that left leg, getting a stretch in the back of that left leg. Maybe grab that left leg and pull the head towards the left shin. If that's too much, just take those hands to the mat over to the left foot. We're getting a stretch in that leg, maybe even in the right side body, depending on how tight we are. Good, good, good. You all look good. Weight is in the toes, really nice. We don't want those butts to be back behind the heels. We want the weight to be nice and in the toes. Good. From there, we're going to continue walking towards that left direction. We're going to pivot those feet back to our low lunge. We're going to lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, biceps to ears. Very simple. Hands are just up overhead. Imagine a string around the waist pulling you forward and down, getting a stretch into that right hip. Good. From here, lower those hands on an exhale. Frame that left foot, tuck the back toes, and we're going to step that right foot forward to meet the left, coming into our forward fold. Head, neck, shoulders, release. Head is dangling here. Bend into the knees. Shoot the arms out and up. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Inhale again. Sweep the arms up. Exhale. This time swan dive. So hands come behind us. Notice how my shoulders are pulling back. Chest pulling forward. Come parallel to the floor. Weight is in the toes. And then I dive down to a forward fold. Inhale that half lift. Pull the shoulders away from the hips. Parallel chest and floor. Weight is in the toes, and exhale. Back to a forward fold. From here, we're going to take those feet a little wider than they are if they came closer, but they're about a little wider than hip distance. The hands come flat to the mat again. This time we're coming strong into that right foot, lifting the left and stepping it back. The left hand comes beneath the left shoulder, left toes right beneath the left heel, and that right hand to the top of the right leg. Lower that left knee. Inhale, right arm up. Continue with that inhale, twist, T-twist over to the right side. Pulling, engaging the abdomen to twist ourselves over. And then we're going to release that right hand down to the left leg, wherever we can find it. Maybe the left butt, wherever we can find it, maybe just on the low back. And then we're inhaling that left arm up and over, coming into a T-twist, little baby back bend. Notice that that right knee is splaying open. Bring it back in line with the right ankle, right hip. And then bring that left hand back down. Right hand comes to meet it. We're going to tuck the back toes, press the heel away to lift the back knee and walk it over into a wide leg forward fold. Same thing, work it out here. Remember that we're giving ourselves a little self-massage here in every movement that we make tonight. So if it doesn't feel good, change it around so that it does. Head, neck, shoulders, let go, hanging down. Bending into the legs. Make sure that those toes are angled just a little bit in. Make sure that the weight is in the toes, and then we're going to walk those hands over towards the right side, getting that same stretch, but on the right side this time. So maybe you pull that forehead towards the right shin or knee, hands on the leg. Maybe you just keep those hands off of the leg, and you pull yourself over towards that leg. You decide how deep you go. There's no pressure here. It's all about what it feels like in your body. We're going to continue over to that right side, pivot those feet back, lower the left knee. Make sure that those legs are right in line with the hips, and then press all the way up. Anjaneyasana, biceps to ears, hands overhead, shoulders drawing down. Pull those hips forward and down. Maybe getting a little baby back bend, lifting that gaze up overhead. Not drastic. On your exhale, frame that right foot. Tuck the back toes, press the heel away to lift the left knee, and come forward, step it forward to our forward fold. Head, neck, shoulders, let go. And then we're gonna heel toe these feet out just about mat width distance, toes off, heels on. And we're gonna work our way down into a yogi squat. So if you have a block or something you can put under your hips, I highly recommend that if you feel like you can't come all the way down without closing off entirely. If you wanna bring that beneath your hips. If you can, we're gonna hover here. Our heart is open, pressing into the soles of the feet. We're keeping our spine really long. Now I want to challenge you to engage through those glutes. So those hands are going to come out in front of us. Engage through the glutes to keep those feet really solid in the earth, and try to come all the way down to the mat with no hands. It might not happen. It might be really not graceful, but try to engage and come all the way down. Take the hands behind the legs and rock all the way down to the back with no hands. It's fun to try. It's something you can play with when you're practicing on your own. If it didn't work tonight, don't be difficult on yourself. So we're gonna come back to a flat back. We've done a lot in the hips, the hamstrings, we did a little in the obliques. We're gonna continue with some twists. I love finishing up this class with some twists. They always feel really good. So hug those knees in and then let that left leg come all the way out. Right knee stays into the chest. Hands are going to clasp on the top of that right shin. We're inhaling, drawing that right knee towards the chin. And then we're exhaling, compressing it over towards the right side. So imagine tucking that right knee up into the right elbow or the right armpit area. That's where we're going with it. This is called wind removing pose. It's really good for digestion. It's often paired with twists for that reason. Imagine newspapers between your sides and your arms. That's the engagement we want here. Pulling up and over. And then we'll slowly release that leg back to center. The left hand comes to the outside of the right leg, and we press ourselves into a full spinal twist. That right hand comes all the way out to our right side. That left hand pulls the right leg over to the left side. Notice if there's a shoulder lifting here, the right shoulder should stay down. Imagine a sandbag on that shoulder or a gentle press from someone's hand. We want that shoulder to be on the mat. If it's peeled up, bring it back down and just come out of the twist a little bit. In time, your spine will become more flexible, more mobile, and you will twist deeper, but for right now, try to train your body to twist with as much surface area in contact with the mat as you can. So those shoulders are connected. That gaze can drop over to the right side if that adds a little something for you. If you're really feeling a stretch if you want more of a stretch in the back of that right leg, you can extend that right leg straight and kind of try to grab that right foot with the left hand. That might be way too out there for you. But if you want a little bit of a challenge and you're open in the hamstrings, we've worked into them, so that can be accessible there for you if you want it. If that left hand is connected to the right foot, let it go, bring that knee or bend at the right knee. The right toes come to tap the left knee, and then we rock all the way to a flat back. Bring yourself back onto the mat. Let the right foot come all the way down to the mat. The right knee is bent up, and then lift that left heel towards the ceiling, left toes towards the hip, just like we did at the beginning of class. We're gonna take the hands behind the leg and take one more stretch like this. Again, noticing maybe a difference, maybe not. Just feeling, noticing. We'll let that left leg come down, release the hands. Let the left sole of the foot come down and reach that right leg up towards the sky. The right heel pulling towards the ceiling, right toes towards the hip. Pull the hands to the back of the right leg. Get a stretch here. In the back of that right leg. And then let that right leg come all the way out straight. Hug that left knee in towards the chest, and we'll take that same sequence on the other side. So the hands clasp on the top of that left shin. Pull that knee up towards the chin, and then compress it over to the left side so that left knee is tucking up and over to the left armpit area. The sensation we're going for here is a compression in the left hip. It doesn't matter how close that leg is to the chest. All that matters is you find that compression. Be gentle with yourself. Release any expectation of where you should be and just be where you are. Again, remember the newspapers between the hand or the arms and the sides of the body. And then release that knee back towards center. Let the right hand come to the outside of the left knee and twist it over into our full spinal twist. That left hand comes out to a T. Again, remember the left shoulder, we want it on the mat here. Imagine a sandbag or a gentle touch on the left shoulder to bring it back to the mat. And gaze can drop over to the left. Continue to breathe here. If you want that extra hamstring stretch, reach that left leg long and reach for the toes of that left foot with your right hand. I have a wall here, so I can't take the variation here to show you, but if you want that, feel free to extend that left leg long. Only take that if that left shoulder is on the mat. If not, we might not be ready to go there yet. Work on twisting and creating flexibility in the spine before we take that stretch to another level. If that foot is connected to the hand and outreached or outstretched, let the foot go, bend at that left knee, bring the left toes back to the right knee, and twist back to a flat back on our mat. From here, let that left sole of the foot come down, flat to the mat. Reach the right heel all the way up to the sky, right toes towards the right hip. We're getting that active stretch in the back of the right leg. Take those hands behind the right leg and pull that leg towards the face of the chest, keeping it straight and keeping the foot active. Then we'll release that leg, bring the right sole of the foot down. Extend the left sole of the foot up. Left toes towards the hip, left heel towards the ceiling. Then take those hands behind the leg and pull that leg in a little bit, whether it's behind the thigh or the calf or the foot. Extend that left leg out long. Reach the right out to meet the left. Take those hands up overhead like we did at the beginning of class. Take a full body stretch. And exhale. Invite yourself back to Shavasana, where we began class. Maybe take those hands back to the tummy in that diamond-shaped thumbs together, fingers together, that first pointer finger together, shaping a diamond on your tummy. I love that position. If that doesn't feel good, take those hands wide, tops of the hands in contact with the floor or mat, palms facing up, and resting into your mat. Giving yourself full permission to be heavy, to be wide, to take up as much space as you need. Again, come into the moment. Notice those 5 things. Feel, hearing, sight, which is hopefully dark if your eyes are closed, but notice the lights, the colors that are flashing through with your eyes closed. Taste and smell. And feeling, notice the temperature of the room. When I find myself getting anxious or worried about what's to come next, I can often find myself disconnected to these 5 things, our 5 senses. When I bring myself back to them, I can bring myself back to the moment and not worry about the future or what's coming next or what I have to do next. So as we move from Shavasana to an easy seat to close out our practice, I encourage you to stay in that. Stay aware of the 5 senses. What does it feel like to move your body towards that? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you see? What do you taste? In your own time, I invite you to find your way to an easy seat in your own movement, in your own way. I like to do that as a little exercise in intuition. Keep the eyes closed and take the movement that your body wants you to take to get to an easy seat. Let yourself cue for a moment here. Once we've come to our easy seat, in your own time, there's no rush. Feel free to stay in Shavasana if you'd like. We're going to inhale those arms out wide, up overhead. Take them to prayer overhead and exhale through heart center. I want you to think of one thing that you can do tonight, and maybe even tomorrow and the next day or the next time until we meet. I want you to think of one thing that you can do without double tasking. Maybe it's brushing your teeth. Maybe it's driving in the car with no music. Maybe it's eating a meal without scrolling through your phone. Just do what you're doing. Be where you are, undistracted, and notice those 5 things. Feeling, sight, smell, hearing, and taste. It will bring you back into the moment. We'll end with a communal breath. Exhale out any stale energy, stale breath that's still in there. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. I really appreciate every single one of you. I hope it was what you needed for a low and slow feel good